You think strength is never flinching, never apologizing, never letting anyone see you bleed. You wear that belief like armor because somewhere you decided there's only two kinds of men: the ones who get eaten and the ones who act unbreakable. You'd rather be a statue than a man, because statues don't cry. They also don't move. Listen closely. I'm not here to stroke your ego. I'm here to put a crowbar under it and pry it off your face. Because the thing you think keeps you safe is the exact thing making you easy to steer. The man addicted to looking strong is simple to control, threaten his image, and you own his choices. You learned it young. Don't flinch. Don't show pain. Don't ever say, "I'm not ready." Swallow the apology before it leaves your mouth, even when you know you burned someone, even when you know you need to own it. You trained your face to hold the same expression in every storm. You trained your words to carry no questions, even when you're full of them. You learned to move through rooms like you're bulletproof. That costume feels brave for a while. It fools a few people. Sometimes it even fools you. It seems like proof piles up that it works. People treat you different when you act untouchable. Doors open because gatekeepers want to stand next to strength. They confuse quiet with mastery, and sometimes so do you. You notice how critics go silent when they think you'll never blink. You post the right pictures, you hold the right posture, you project this hard straight line, and the room adjusts. You get status, you get deference, and you mistake that deference for respect. It tastes good because it's sweet and instant. The world pays with status for the costume of invulnerability, and you start eating it like a man starved. You think, finally, I found the code. Look deeper at the code. There's a hidden mechanism running under all that posture. It trains your nervous system to make a dirty trade. Trade truth for applause. Every time you hide what's real to hold the image, you wire your body a little tighter around the approval of strangers. Every laugh you avoid, every raised eyebrow you outrun, buys you a quick hit and sells you a piece of your spine. You become a bargain hunter of validation. And here's the worst part. You teach your mind to obey anyone who can threaten the picture of you. You don't even notice it happening, but they do. The boss hints you're not a team player if you draw a line. The partner suggests you're not a real man if you ask for clarity. A friend jokes. A follower comments. A rumor slides under the door. And suddenly your behavior shifts to protect the poster hanging in their head. Fear becomes intelligent when it learns to speak your language. You keep telling yourself, you're just handling pressure. You're not. The pressure is not the problem. Life will always press you. The real problem is being hostage to reputation, building a cell around yourself and calling it success. You're not under pressure. You're under blackmail. You will sell your standards to keep the mask intact. You'll sell truth. You'll sell sleep. You'll sell the next 10 years. Because the thing you worship is not your values. It's the picture of you other people hold. That's not masculinity, that's marketing. And it will break you slowly so you never hear the crack. So this is what you do when your image owns you. You say yes when your spine says no. You tolerate betrayals and rename them as misunderstandings. You overperform for people who have under-respected you for years, calling it leadership because it sounds noble. You work late on the wrong project to look like a soldier. You swallow truce in your relationship because you're tired of the fight. You talk like a king and live like a captive. Resentment ferments quietly inside you and you call it motivation because you're afraid to name it. Your chest gets tight, your sleep thins out, your smile feels like it's stapled on. Comfort is expensive. You think you're choosing comfort by keeping everyone's opinion of you clean, but comfort is the bill you pay later with interest. You call it being strategic. I call it bleeding out slowly in a nice suit. Pain doesn't stay small for long. The stakes climb. The room learns the code to move you. Partners start hinting. Bosses dangle promotions with strings that wrap around your throat. Clients use your hunger for image to buy your weekends. Friends feed you flattery right before they ask you for a favor that violates your line. Rumors simmer just enough to keep you polite, and you mortgage your career, your values, and the intimacy you want just to protect the poster of you. You sign deals you hate so you look like you're growing. You stay silent when a line gets crossed so you look like you're above drama. You keep a relationship that drains you because leaving would admit failure. You reinvent your compromises as wisdom. You rebrand your fear as prudence. You craft a leadership costume out of the very choices that empty you. And when your kid looks up at you, when your crew looks across at you, what they see is a man who lives on payment plans with his own soul. That's the cost of your unbreakable image. Don't tell me you're winning. You're not leading. You're negotiating with a hoe. Stage taker and the hostage is you. And then something tiny happens. A public crack. A moment where the script slips. You forget a detail on camera, you set a boundary and someone laughs. You say, "I need a minute," and the room doesn't clap. For a terrifying second, you think you just died. And then you don't. The building doesn't fall. The floor holds. The world keeps spinning. And in that silence after the laugh, you notice something snapping that you thought was a part of your spine, but was really a leash. The handler wasn't the critic or the boss or the partner. The handler was the fear of looking weak. The fear itself wrote your calendar, packed your words, and shook your hands. You didn't see it because you were busy protecting the picture. Now you're standing in the small hole where the picture tore, and you're breathing different. You start to realize, I was never being brave. I was being obedient to an image. You don't become confident by thinking. You become confident by surviving reality. Reality is this: strength isn't invulnerability. It's the willingness to be seen as weak to enforce your standards. Real standards, not slogans. Your standards are the lines you draw when it costs you. Your standards are the rules you keep when eyes are on you and when they're not. Standards are the thing that make you untouchable because they make you predictable to yourself. Image makes you predictable to everyone else. When you choose standards over image, you choose to be a man whose power lives under his own skin, not in other people's eyes. You'd rather take a jab to the face than a blade to your integrity. You'd rather look foolish in the moment than become hollow in the long run. That's not weakness, that's sovereignty. Here's what you learn when you make that shift. All the noise loses leverage. The moment you accept that some people will think you're soft or slow or stubborn so you can keep your line straight, you become harder to move. You become rare because you're not trading like most men trade. You stop acting, you start enforcing. You say, this is how I operate. This is what I won't cross. This is the time I protect. This is the pace I keep. This is the respect I require. You don't say it with a speech. You say it with repeated choices. You know you can survive the look, the laugh, the rumor, the distance. And because you can survive it, you don't need to buy anyone's approval anymore. That's when the tone of the room changes. People stop testing the fence and start reading the sign. If you want this to be real, you can't chant it. You have to train it. Start taking deliberate image losses. Let a jab land. Choose the truth that won't get applause. When someone pushes, say no, without briefing them on your childhood, and the spreadsheet and the TED Talk that justifies you. Don't sell your boundary like a product. Set it like a price. When you don't know, say it clean. I don't know. Not because you're lazy or checked out, but because you're the only man in the room not playing pretend. Watch how your body trembles the first few times. Expect it. That tremble is your old life dying. Call the client and say you won't do it that way. Tell your partner the line that matters and accept the awkward night. Walk away from the gig that buys you followers and sells you out. The life you want is hidden behind the actions you avoid. Put yourself in the fire on purpose until the fire stops scaring you. You'll think you need a plan for people's reactions. You don't. You need a plan for your own. Your job is not to keep them comfortable with you. Your job is to keep you honest with you. When the room rolls its eyes, breathe, feel the urge to explain, and don't. When the rumor starts, let it run without chasing it like a dog. When she tests your boundary, let the test finish and keep your line. You'll be shocked by how many storms just pass when you don't perform. You'll also be shocked by how many people finally reveal themselves when they can't move you with image threats. That revelation will hurt. Good. Now you're dealing with reality instead of a stage. This isn't cruelty. This isn't coldness. It's clarity. Most men try to buy peace with performance. They try to buy respect with silence. They try to buy love with obedience. The invoice arrives eventually. Pay early with courage. One choice at a time. You become the man who can be embarrassed without being steered. You learn to be misread without being moved. You learn to take a punch without changing your price. That's power, not the cartoon kind. The kind that walks away from leverage because it doesn't need to play. Understand the psychology of the leash you're breaking. Your nervous system thinks humiliation will kill you. It won't. It will shake you. It will bruise your pride, but it won't end you. Train that into your bones. Put yourself in small, controlled humiliations and stay. Speak up in rooms where you've always nodded. Ask the question that exposes you as a learner. Admit the miss before they find it. Show your team where you failed and what you're doing to fix it. Not with drama, with clarity. Every time you do, you teach your body, we can survive this. And once your body learns it can survive, the handlers lose the remote. Let's talk about leadership, since you like that word. Leadership isn't the man who never looks weak. It's the man who can afford to look weak because he's strong enough to enforce his terms. Power is keeping your price when they're watching you bleed. Real leaders don't outsource their standards to trend, to pressure, or to the most anxious person in the room. They don't rush to dress fear in the language of strategy. They don't rebrand people-pleasing as high EQ. They decide, they pay, they stay, and because their terms are consistent, people organize around them. Even the critics, especially the critics. The room orients around your reality instead of your performance. You want confidence? Stop trying to feel it. Earn it by living through the moments that used to own you. Walk straight into the situation where you usually buy safety with image and refuse the deal. Shut your mouth when you want to explain. Open your mouth when you want to hide. Tell the truth faster than your fear can spin it. Protect your time publicly. Protect your energy visibly. Let small misunderstandings stand. Let people be wrong about you if the cost of correcting them is your peace. Confidence is the residue of repeated alignment with your standards under pressure. Nothing else lasts. You think this will make you lonely? At first, it might. The crowd that loved your performance won't clap when the show ends. Some will leave. Bless them on their way. What arrives next is not a bigger audience. It's a real one. The friends who stay when you stop bending, the partner who respects you when you stop performing, the clients who pay for your terms instead of your image, those are not accidents. They're the byproduct of your standards becoming legible. You will stand taller with fewer people around you, and the few will be worth the crowd you lost.
This also reaches into your private life. The hardest place to stop performing is at home. You've been managing your image since you were a boy, so giving your real thoughts and needs to a partner feels risky. Say them anyway. If the relationship breaks because you were honest, it needed to break. If it deepens, it does so on real ground. Intimacy requires proof you can be seen without costume and still hold your line. If you can't build that muscle in the places that matter most, your public strength is a party trick. Don't be a trick, be a man. Notice what happens to your work when you shift. You stop chasing every shiny thing that promises clout. You build what's aligned and you let the rest pass. You take the higher friction path that matches your values. The numbers might dip, your audience might wobble, but your work starts speaking in a tone you recognize. There's a weight to it that you can feel in your own bones. You're not making noise anymore. You're making signal. People can sense when a man's work is attached to his standards, not his performance. They don't always like it. They always feel it. Let's be clear. This is not a one-time decision. This is practice. Daily. Relentless. You'll be tempted 100 times to slide back into the costume because it pays fast. There will be days where the cost of being real feels stupid. There will be moments you'll want to buy back your reputation with one small compromise. That's your old addiction knocking. Don't open the door. Grind through the discomfort without making it a story. Remember this, pain isn't a problem when it's clean and earned. Pain becomes poison when it's the price of your avoidance. Your body knows the difference. Stop feeding it poison. A warning. The world will try to guilt you for standard setting. It will call you arrogant, rigid, controlling. Don't confuse standards with stubbornness. Standards serve a purpose, to protect your values, your time, and the people you are responsible for. Stubbornness serves your ego. The test is simple. If your line protects the mission and the humans involved, keep it. If it only protects your pride, drop it. That distinction matters. I'm not asking you to be a jerk. I'm asking you to be a guardian. There's a difference. Here's a line to tattoo on the inside of your skull. Nobody respects a man who will not respect his own line. They might fear him. They might use him. They might like what he gives them. But respect? That belongs to the man who enforces his standards without making it a spectacle. Quiet, consistent, unmoved. That man becomes unblackmailable. Not because the world stops trying, but because their threats don't find purchase. He's already accepted the cost of his choices. He can be embarrassed and keep walking. He can be doubted and keep building. He can be alone and not be lonely. What does unblackmailable look like in real life? It looks like turning down money that asks for your soul. It looks like telling your team, we don't ship that, when a client waives double the fee. It looks like admitting an error before someone can hang it over you. It looks like saying, I was wrong in a room full of people waiting for you to defend.
It looks like leaving a table where respect is rationed. It looks like letting people underestimate you while you do the hard work in the dark. People try to tug your strings and realize there are none. They can invite, they can ask, they can negotiate, but they can't yank. Be warned, fake strength is loud. Real strength is quiet. Fake strength needs witnesses. Real strength needs results. Fake strength hoards credit. Real strength carries weight. If your strength can't survive someone else's disapproval, it's not strength, it's theater. End the show. And hear this. I am not judging the part of you that built the costume. That part was protecting you with the best tools it had. Thank him. Then take the tools away, upgrade the system. Instead of control through image, choose command through standards. Instead of hiding your wounds, treat them and keep moving. Instead of chasing applause, chase alignment. The applause that follows alignment is clean. It doesn't own you. You can take it or leave it. That's freedom. That's masculinity without the costume. Now we finish this clean. You want a challenge? Good. Stop trying to look like the man you admire. Start doing the things he does when nobody's watching. Today, not next week. Draw one line in ink, not in your head, out loud, to someone who expects your old performance. Say, no, I'm not doing that. Don't decorate it. Don't defend it. Hold. Take one deliberate image loss. Tell the truth where you usually sell the costume. Accept the flinch. Breathe through it. Keep building. If there's fallout, sort it. If there's silence, enjoy it. If there's laughter, let it echo and fade. The world's opinion is a wind. Your standards are the mountain. Act like it. You want to be a man other men trust. Be a man who trusts himself to hold the line when it's ugly. You want a relationship with heat and depth. Bring your real standards to the table and keep them there when it costs. You want success that doesn't rot you from the inside? Stop bartering your values for approval. You keep talking about discipline, confidence, mental toughness. Here it is, right here, not in a cold plunge, not in a quote, in the choice to be willing to look weak so you can be strong for real. Burn the poster. Keep the man. Let them misread you. Let them doubt you. Let them talk. You don't answer to a rumor. You answer to your standards. When your spine says no, say no. When your purpose calls you, go. When fear of looking weak starts whispering, smile. That voice is just the handler asking for the leash back. Don't hand it over. Comfort is expensive. Pay for freedom instead. The life you want is hidden behind the actions you avoid. Step into them. Today, close the gap between who you pretend to be and what you enforce. Decide who you are and pay the bill for it without blinking. Be unblackmailable. Be the man whose terms are clear, whose standards are evident, whose choices are owned. When the room tests you, let it. When they push, don't move. When they watch you bleed, keep your price. And when they finally see they can't steer you with your own image, watch what happens. The room will stop performing. It will start respecting. It will orient around your reality, not because you performed harder, because you led. This is where your old self dies. This is where your new self starts. No speeches, no hashtags, one choice, then another, then 100 more. Strength isn't in vulnerability. Strength is the willingness to be seen as weak to enforce your standards. Now act like it.